Good afternoon. How are we doing? The ringer, the last one to go. Okay, so it's so nice to see you all. My name is Nick Palumbo. I'm a PhD student here at the Warner School in the Human Development and Counseling Department. My background is an interesting one, and I think it's one that gave me a really unique lens through which to look at online teaching and learning. My background is formally trained as a special educator, worked in Syracuse City Schools before coming to the University of Rochester to pursue my doctorate, right? So I've got that background in terms of trying to construct content and curriculum that's based around a universally designed model of learning for students with and without disabilities, which I'll connect to in a bit here. But prior to coming to the University of Rochester, I've taken online classes at the community college level. I've taken online classes at the undergraduate level, at the master's level, across the board, and it was starkly different here. Starkly different. And that's not to say that I hadn't had good experiences prior to coming to the Warner School, but there was a level of thought and a level of precision that I experienced here that just wasn't a part of those classes before. It seemed like the content was there, and the intentions were good, but that level of design from the beginning, right? That level of really thinking about what are the objectives of this course and how can we facilitate and create structures within our classes so we can meet those objectives was clear and very evident. It kind of smacked me in the face a little bit. Dave will tell you in some of my very long journal reflections to him during his course. So since coming to the Warner School, I've taken 3 classes that have an online component to them. The first of which was a fully asynchronous class offered by Dr. Martin Lynch in my department here in motivation and human development. Again, this was a theoretically oriented class, and it blew my mind how engaging it was and how much thought not only I had to kind of go through in processing the content in this format, but also interacting with my peers. I had never had such meaningful interactions with others in an online space prior to taking this course. And again, I had taken it across the board prior to coming here. So that kind of tweaked my thinking a little bit around this. And I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to take ED 484 with Dr. Miller last spring. And I went from having this new idea and understanding of what online teaching could be to then starting to see how do you thoughtfully create something like this, right? What's the background of that kind of look like? And again, kind of bringing my special education lens and background to this, I was able to see kind of how distinct going from this place where you're literally considering absolutely everything from the onset and working down can bring in everyone. It ropes everyone in, and sometimes when you're on the ground and you're in the classroom in K through 12, you don't have that opportunity. Things are way too fluid, right? But in this case, if you're constructing this type of content that's really high impact and high quality, and you have that opportunity to pull back, that the outcomes and the products of that, I think, are fantastic. And that was something I really, really gained from this class. And then finally, I had the synchronous course with Dr. Fredrickson over the summer, where I actually got to design and build my own course, which was a game changer. And it really helped me take this new lens, this new conception of what not only being an educator is like and how to thoughtfully and meaningfully construct content, but then actually put it into practice. And I was able to put a fully online course together for a version of a class that previously exists at Warner. And now I'm fortunate enough this spring to actually be implementing it as a hybrid course here at the Warner School with another doctoral student, which is so exciting and really transformative for me personally, but also to kind of tie in the loop here and see everything, all of my training at least here at the Warner School and what I've learned in my experience as an online student kind of come together. So the question is, were these experiences isolating, particularly I would say looking to that ED 422 course? I would say no, they weren't isolating, and the reason why they all weren't, but in particular the fully asynchronous class was, again, the thoughtful construction of content, right? And in particular, I would say the activities that were embedded in the class facilitates interaction, facilitates communication, and we make these choices thoughtfully, right, about how we want students to engage with one another and how we want them to engage with that space. And if we're thinking about that from the onset, we can set up opportunities where no one feels isolated, where you feel this inextricable connection to the class. You're like going in, it feels like you're going into the classroom, like in the F2F context, which is really, really important. So again, thinking about course format, course design, and the assignments from the onset, so important for engagement, or at least I've felt as a student. In terms of my interactions with professors and classmates, so Alex and I, we've known each other for a while now. We're both in Dave Miller's class. I haven't seen her since, I don't know, maybe May, let's say. I was out there getting my lunch, and she walks in, and we saw each other, and I had seen her all over the summer, right, in Dr. Ferguson's course. And it was like we had never left. It was amazing. It was radiant. The interaction actually, and Yu Jun Hung commented on that. So again, no, not at all. It's not isolating. I would say particularly on the student side of things, because you're all in this together. And again, from the side of construction, if you're actually meaningfully setting things up so that students are communicating on multiple levels, there's no reason why these levels of really high quality interaction can't happen. In terms of professors, in my experience, at least here at the Warner School with Dr. Lynch, Dr. Ferguson, and Dr. Miller, they're on it, right? You shoot them an email, you ask a question, boom, 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 they're back to you. They give you really, really high quality feedback on all of your work. It astounds me. I don't know how they sleep at night sometimes when you get these reports back, and it's really quite thorough. So, no, you're not alone at all. Was it easier? I would say probably not. Not for me at least. If anything, it was equivalent to a face-to-face course. And again, I think that instructors that are thoughtfully designing this content are looking at the credit hours and are looking at how much time am I expecting for each assignment, right, that I'm giving students. And it's that level of thought and that level of precision from the onset that I think can really lead to designing a class that isn't overwhelming, but at the same time, in no way, shape, or form should be different or feeling different from an F2F class. Was I able to learn anything? Well, unquestionably, right? Unquestionably. So, well, thank you all so much. Really appreciate it.
I loved that. Loved all of it. I hope you enjoyed it too. We have a few minutes left if people have questions. Anybody have any questions?
Just very quick, on the courses that you're just referring to and some of those, how many students are in them? On average?
It really depends. Entrepreneurial skills for educators, I would say we have gone from 12 to 25. We usually try to cap the courses at 25. The online teaching and learning, again, pretty similar. We have had even up to 27, 28 in an equivalent course. So it's certainly not a huge 200 people situation, but it's also not 4 or 5 people.
I have a question on the videos. When the students respond, do they respond with the video or just in the, just
In this
written?
assignment, they responded
Written.
writing, but in the assignment that was actually this week, it was then interviewing each other on video, so there was interaction with the two of them.
Did they have to be at the same spot to interact?
No.
No.
You
Okay.
use Zoom, correct? Is this the one that you?
Zoom.
They use Zoom to interact.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.